Most people look at $1,000 and think, that's not enough to matter. And that exact mindset is why a lot of people never build wealth in the first place. They never start. Your first $1,000 isn't about becoming rich overnight. It's about setting the direction for every dollar you invest after that. Do it wrong, and you can build a bad habit. Chasing hype, guessing, gambling. Do it right, and that small amount can snowball into something far bigger than you expect, especially if you're starting in your 20s. So if you had $1,000 to invest today, where would you put it? Drop a comment down below. Before we talk about where it should go, let's lay down a few ground rules. First, I'm going to assume that you already have an emergency fund of at least 3 to 6 months of expenses in cash. Second, I'm assuming you're not carrying any high interest credit card debt. If you're paying 20 to 30% interest, no investment is realistically going to outperform that. Knock that out first. Third is money needs to stay invested for at least 5 to 10 years. The longer your timeline, the more compounding can work in your favor, like a snowball rolling down a hill. The goal of your first $1,000 isn't to get rich fast. It's to build habits. It's to experience what it feels like when your money goes up and when it drops. Because it will drop at some point. The question is, how do you respond? A lot of beginners treat $1,000 like a lottery ticket. That's a mistake. It's not a scratch off. It's a foundation. And you don't need to invest it all at once. You can invest $100 a week, or $10 a week, or $100 a month for 10 months. The key is participation. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but one of the simplest ways to start is with a broad index ETF, something like the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF or Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. These track large portions of the US market. They're boring, and that's a good thing. Historically, boring has worked. When you buy an ETF like that, you're buying a basket of companies. You're not betting on one stock. You're owning a slice of the market. Option 1, keep it simple. Put the full $1,000 into something like VOO or VTI and consistently add to it. You'll likely outperform most people trying to pick hot stocks or day trade. Option 2, split it up. Maybe 70 to 80% go into a broad market ETF and 20 to 30% goes into a growth-focused ETF like Invesco NASDAQ 100 ETF or the Schwab US Large Cap Growth ETF. That gives you core stability with a small tilt toward growth. Just don't use the smaller slice to gamble on meme stocks, leverage, or options. Keep it disciplined. When you're young, your biggest advantage is time. Someone who starts at 20 and invests consistently has a massive edge over someone who waits until 30, even if the monthly amount is the same. Time turns average returns into powerful results. And here's something people don't realize. Sometimes doing nothing with $1,000 is actually the riskier move. If you leave it in cash, inflation quietly eats away at it. $1 today won't buy the same amount next year. The opportunity cost of sitting on the sidelines is real. That $1,000 today could turn into $20,000, $30,000, even $40,000 decades from now with steady contributions and compounding. But more importantly, it changes how you think. Once your money is invested, you have skin in the game. You stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like an owner. And the psychology matters more than the math. Imagine someone who inherits $50,000 and invests it all at once. If the market drops 20%, they're suddenly down $10,000. That hurts, especially if they've never seen money fall before. That's when people panic and sell. But if you build up gradually, $100 here, $200 there, by the time you hit $1,000, you're already used to the swings. You've built emotional calluses. Markets will fall. Headlines will scream. Every week there will be a reason to sell. But long-term investors understand something simple. Volatility is normal. The first $1,000 teaches you patience. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you how losses feel, because losses hurt more psychologically than gains feel good. If $10,000 doubles, that's exciting. But if $10,000 drops to $5,000, that pain hits harder than the joy ever did. Learning to stay rational with $1,000 prepares you for handling $10,000, $100,000, and beyond. Wealth isn't built by waiting for the perfect entry. You could sit in cash for 2 years waiting for a crash, and when it finally comes, prices might only fall back to where they were about 6 months ago. Meanwhile, you missed out. The market doesn't reward certainty, it rewards participation. Your first investment probably won't be perfect. That's fine. Nothing is perfect at the beginning. You refine your strategy over time. What matters is building a framework, deciding whether you're a passive investor or an active trader, whether you prefer growth or income, and how much risk you can actually tolerate. If you don't understand why you own something, you won't know when to hold it, or when to ignore the noise. Keep it simple early on. Complexity creates hesitation. It's like going to a restaurant with 100 menu items. You just freeze up staring at the menu. Simplicity creates momentum. And let me be clear about what I wouldn't do with $1,000. I wouldn't trade options. I wouldn't try to flip $500 into $10,000 overnight. I wouldn't day trade. That route is more gambling than investing for most people. It's exciting, but excitement doesn't equal results. Slow compounding feels invisible at first. A 2% gain on $1,000 isn't life-changing. But when that portfolio grows to $5,000, then to $20,000, that same percentage starts to mean something. I remember hitting my first $1,000 invested. Before that, I don't think I'd ever kept $1,000 saved for long. I'd just go and spend it. But once it was invested, the next milestone felt closer. Then the next one. Progress builds momentum. You don't need $20,000 to start. You don't need $10,000. You can start with $100 a month, $10 a month. What matters is consistency. So don't let that first $1,000 sit idle. Put it to work in assets that have grown over long periods of time. Keep adding, stay patient, and learn as you go. The real win isn't the return in year one. It's becoming the kind of person who invests regularly, ignores the noise, and thinks long term. That's how wealth is actually built. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.